Ow. I have water on my face. Hello, today is Andrew Morgan Smith. What am I saying? Hello, my name is Andrew Morgan Smith, and I wanted to talk to you today about whether or not music can fix your project. It can't. So there's a lot of things that can happen in production that are just out of your control. Weather, actors not performing, not knowing their lines, the coronavirus, time issues, schedule issues, a writing issue, location problems, you name it, it could happen on set with so many people and so many different things that could go wrong. So sometimes you get into an edit on a movie, there's just problems, that you can't control and that you can't fix, and you have to work with what you have in front of you. I have been told personally, a lot of times, I just really need to do something with this actor. It's like having a cardboard cutout on screen. Oh, this isn't really coming across. This action sequence isn't working. Like, we just have to put more music in it, more music in it, more music in it. So just sometimes this happens, and we have to work with the material we have. One of my first movies I worked on was a shark movie, and there was a sequence where there was supposed to be the shark fin coming at a person in the water, and we watched it, and the shark fin, it was a practical shark fin, was barely moving. And they had squibs going off. I mean, it looked not great. Every round of notes, the director said, I need more music, more music, more music. It wasn't exciting enough. It doesn't feel like it's moving. So he's trying to use music to fix that problem. And music can do a lot of things, but it will never make that fin move on screen. A bad performance by an actor can be kind of massaged a little bit. Something's not quite landing, we can make the music kind of push it into where it needs to be. If an actor is just really cardboard, it's putting a shiny new paint job on a car that's about to fall apart. Some things that music can do, it can make your movie feel like it's moving along a little bit faster. I like to call it treading water music. In a big blockbuster movie, the main character is saying like, no time to sit down and do the briefing, walk with me. Because it's much more exciting for them to walk down the hallway and talk to each other with action happening around them than it is for them to sit in a stuffy briefing room and look at papers. So let's talk about some solutions. On the movies that we're talking about, which are gonna be lower budget indie movies, you don't have money to do a reshoot. If you're working on Batman 2030,
I'm on the building.
Ooh, you was on that building.
chances are you're gonna have money to go do reshoots if there's a problem and fix the problem that's going on. But we're talking about movies where you did a very quick shoot, there's not a lot of money, you have to make do with what you have. And also making the assumption you've tried the edit a bunch of different ways and just the actor's performance just isn't good. The good news is music will make your scenes feel better. I've had directors tell me that putting custom music in their edit fixed 60% of the problems with just adding custom score to it. So it does help to make the picture move along. And sometimes it just can't be helped. Like action sequences need music and sound design. How boring would it be to have a car chase without any sound at all? I love Star Wars, but you take the music out of Star Wars and it's just not really great acting. Another thing to keep in mind is you need to be confident in your direction. Sometimes I get into these situations where a director wants to add more and more and more music, but what's really happening is the director is not confident in whatever direction they chose. They are losing the experience of the audience member as they go along with this, which makes sense. I always have to be very careful in a spotting session to try and write down my thoughts as an audience member, because once I've watched it 100 times, I don't remember how I felt as an audience member. So it's very important as a director, as a producer, that we remember how we felt when we first watched it. Were we really wondering who killed that person, who the bad guy is? Because I've had producers and directors straight up say, like, put bad guy music over this person. We don't know that he's the bad person yet. We're supposed to be asking that question. The audience has to have time to think about it. So be confident in what you originally saw in your mind's eye. And if you have to ask someone else, ask someone else's opinion if you feel like you're not being objective in what you're watching. And if you're not being objective in what you're watching, you might be actually making the scene actively worse. And there's a trap here.
It's a trap!
The music is supposed to direct us to what's important in the sequence emotionally, if it's supposed to be keeping us moving along. If we have music all the time, the audience isn't being directed as to what's important. It's just noise all the time. So ask yourself when you're looking through this, is the music directing the audience to what's important in the sequence? Or is it just wall-to-wall music that's just filling space and making us feel better? It makes us feel like we're moving. Or are we actually losing the important beats within the sequence? Yes, music can help problems in your movie. It'll do some things that are good. It'll help you ignore certain things. And as composers, there's only so much we can do. If an actor is bad, it's only gonna make it more palatable.
Oh man! Oh God! Oh man!
And just, this won't be your only time making a project. This won't be your only time making a movie. And you know what? Next time, there'll be a whole new set of problems with that production, and they'll deal with those problems when they come by. Thanks so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions or any ideas for videos or anything you're really curious about, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'd love to check it out. I'll talk to you later. Thanks.